Ravi lived alone on a dusty moon called Asta 9. It was not a beautiful place. The sky was always dark, the ground was dry and full of cracks, and the wind never stopped howling. He worked there as a repairman, fixing broken machines and old towers that sent signals into space. His only company was a rusted robot named Click, who didn't talk much and sometimes forgot what it was doing. Ravi didn't mind the silence. He liked working with tools and machines more than talking to people every day. He followed the same routine: eat, work, check systems, sleep. Nothing exciting ever happened on Asta 9. That changed one cold evening. As he was checking the antenna tower near the northern ridge, his scanner picked up a strange signal. It wasn't from any satellite or known ship. It was weak and full of static, but it repeated again and again like a distress call. Ravi frowned and tapped the screen. The signal was coming from the ice canyon a few kilometers away. He hesitated. That place was dangerous. The ground was thin, and many drones had vanished there. Still, something about the signal felt real. Maybe someone was in trouble. He grabbed his snow boots, flashlight, and emergency kit, then jumped into his crawler. The small vehicle rolled across the icy surface, its lights cutting through the fog. The scanner kept beeping faster as he got closer to the source. When he reached the canyon edge, he saw smoke rising from below. Ravi climbed down carefully, using a rope to lower himself to a flat rock shelf. There, half buried in the snow, was a small silver escape pod. Its surface was scratched, and one side was crushed. He approached slowly, hand on his tool belt. The hatch was slightly open, and faint blue light shined from inside. He knocked once, no reply. He pulled the hatch fully open and looked inside. A figure lay inside, wrapped in a torn silver suit. The skin was pale with a soft glow. Long dark hair fell over a slim shoulder, and strange symbols glowed faintly on the forehead. Ravi's eyes widened. It wasn't human. The figure moved slightly, lips trembling. Then a soft voice spoke in broken, common, "Help, please." Ravi didn't move at first. He had never seen an alien this close. The voice was weak, and the translator attached to her chest flickered. Despite his shock, he climbed into the pod and checked her pulse. Still alive, but barely. "All right," he said, lifting her gently. "You better not weigh much." She didn't. He carried her up the rope, carefully placing her in the crawler. The wind picked up as he drove back. Snow began to fall, covering the tracks behind him. Back at his outpost, he laid her on the only bed and turned on the heater. Click beeped in confusion, but Ravi waved the robot away. "I don't know either," he said. "Just get the med kit." The girl's breathing was shallow. Ravi cleaned the wounds and used his scanner to check her vitals. She had injuries on her ribs and burns on her arm, but nothing too serious. Her skin glowed softly under the lights. He didn't sleep that night. He kept checking her condition and adjusting the machines. By morning, she opened her eyes. Ravi was eating canned noodles when she sat up slowly. He stood and helped her sit back down. "You're safe," he said. "You crashed on Asta 9. This is my place. I'm Ravi." The girl looked at him, confused at first, then nodded slowly. Her voice was soft. "I'm Lena, of Solon." Ravi blinked. "Solon? I've heard of it. You're far from home." She looked away. "There was an attack. My ship was damaged. I had to escape." Ravi frowned. "Why would someone attack you?" Lena didn't answer right away. She looked around the small room, rusty walls, broken shelves, and a half-working heater. It was not a place for a royal guest. "You saved me," she said. "Why?" He shrugged. "Didn't think about it. Just follow the signal." "I owe you?" she whispered. Ravi chuckled. "You don't owe me anything. Just stay alive." That night, strange lights appeared in the sky. Ravi stepped outside and used his scope. A ship was scanning the moon. It wasn't marked with any known symbol. It moved slowly, searching. He rushed back inside. "Someone's looking for you," he said. Lena sat up quickly. "The rebels, they will not stop." Ravi hid her in the supply crates and powered down the lights. The ship hovered above for a few minutes, scanning the area. Then it moved on dot when it was gone. Ravi let her out. They're serious, he said. Yes? Lena replied. They want the throne. I'm the last one in their way. Ravi sighed. Great. I just wanted a quiet moon. Lena looked at him and said, I'm sorry to bring danger to your home. Ravi shook his head. Not your fault. But we can't stay here. They'll be back. He started working on the broken shuttle in the garage. It hadn't flown in years. But he was good with machines. Lena watched him. She was quiet, thoughtful. Your kind, humans, do not usually help strangers. Ravi smiled. I'm not usual. As the days passed, they worked together. Ravi repaired the engine, and Lena helped with wires and panels. She learned quickly. He began to see that she was more than a princess. She was smart, kind, and brave. One evening, as they rested by the heater, Lena said softly, In my world, we believe in life debts. When someone saves you, you must return that gift, no matter how long it takes. Ravi sipped his tea. You don't have to do anything. Just get better. No, she said, looking at him. I will repay this, one day. He didn't argue. The storm outside grew stronger, but the small outpost was warm. Ravi looked at the silver-skinned girl beside him and wondered what he had gotten himself into. The quiet moon of Ostanine was no longer quiet, and Ravi's simple life was about to change forever. The snowstorm outside Ravi's outpost had finally passed. The sky above Ostanine was dark again, filled with stars that looked cold and distant. Inside, the heater buzzed quietly, and the lights flickered every few minutes. Ravi sat at the workbench, fixing a cracked scanner, while Lena rested nearby on a padded bench, covered in a thick blanket. She had recovered enough to walk now. Her burns had faded, and the color had returned to her glowing skin. Her silver hair was tied back neatly, and she no longer looked like a broken survivor. She looked calm, but something still weighed on her mind. Ravi noticed. He always noticed the small things. Her eyes didn't rest on anything for long. She often stared out the window as if waiting for someone. You should sleep, he said, while tightening a screw. You've been up all day. Lena looked at him and shook her head. I need to tell you something. Ravi paused. He put the scanner down and turned to face her. All right, she took a deep breath and said, I am not just from Solon. I am the daughter of Queen Arian and Lord Vero. I am the last royal of the Solon line. Ravi blinked. Wait, you mean you're a princess? Yes, she said. The rightful heir to the Solon throne. Ravi leaned back in his chair. You could have told me sooner. I was not sure if I could trust you, she replied quietly. But you saved my life. Twice. You gave me food, shelter, and safety. You didn't ask who I was or what I had. Ravi didn't say anything for a moment. He thought about his quiet life before Lena crashed into it. No visitors, no enemies, no royal trouble. Now, everything felt heavier. So, he said, breaking the silence, why are people hunting you? Lena stood and walked slowly to the small window. The stars reflected in her eyes. There was a rebellion, she said, led by one of our own. A man named Dorn. He believed the throne was weak and slow. He gathered followers, promised power, and turned on us. My family tried to stop him without war. But he struck first, my mother and father. They fell. My brother disappeared. I was their last hope. They placed me in the escape pod and sent me away before the palace walls fell. Ravi looked down at his hands. He was good at fixing machines, but this was too big for him. Politics, royalty, war, it wasn't his world. I'm sorry about your family, he said. Lena turned to him. You didn't ask for this. I know. I brought danger to your doorstep. He looked up at her and said, You didn't ask for any of this either. She nodded, and for the first time, she smiled. It was a small smile, but it was real. That night, Ravi added extra security to the outpost. He adjusted the shield generator, installed motion sensors outside, and placed click on alert. He didn't know if it would be enough, but he had to try. The next day, Lena helped in the workshop. She was surprisingly good with tools. Her fingers moved quickly, and she asked smart questions. She learned how to solder wires, fix panels, and repair broken sensors. You're not like how I imagine royals to be, Ravi said as they worked on the shuttle's navigation system. And you are not like how I imagine humans to be, Lena replied with a grin. In the evening, they sat near the heater again. Lena told him stories of her world, how the buildings floated on rivers of light, how the sky was filled with golden clouds, and how music played in the air during the festivals. Ravi listened quietly. It sounded like a dream. She asked him about Earth. He shrugged. It's crowded, loud, full of people chasing things they don't really want. Do you miss it? She asked. No, he said. I came here to get away from all that. She nodded in understanding. Suddenly, the alarm on the console beeped. Ravi rushed to check. A small ship was entering Astanain's orbit. No ID. No communication. Just a slow, silent scan from above. It's not a traitor, Ravi said. That ship's looking for something. Lena stood beside him, her face serious. It's Dorn's men. Ravi checked the location of the ship's scan. They're flying low over the ridge. They'll circle back here in 5 minutes. Lena looked around the room. We need to hide. They won't stop this time. Ravi thought fast. Not just hide. We need to leave. But your outpost, forget the outpost, he said. I've been meaning to leave this rock anyway. He opened the garage door and ran to the half-repaired shuttle. It's not perfect, but it should fly. Lena followed him. Click beeped behind them. Confused but ready, they loaded supplies into the shuttle. Food, water, power cells, and tools. Ravi activated the engines. They sputtered at first but then roared to life. Let's hope this thing holds together, he said, climbing into the pilot seat. The sensors showed the enemy ship approaching fast. Lights were sweeping across the ground like eyes. Ravi turned to Lena. Strap in. As the enemy ship neared, the shuttle lifted off the ground with a loud groan. Dust and snow flew in every direction. The engines trembled but held. The enemy ship spotted them and changed direction. A red beam shot past the shuttle, missing by meters. They're firing at us, Ravi said. Lena gripped the seat. They won't stop. Ravi pressed every button he could. The old shuttle shot forward, wobbling slightly but gaining speed. He flew low, weaving between rocky hills and icy slopes. Hold together. Just a bit longer, he whispered to the ship. Another shot past them, but they were out of range. Now, the rebel ship didn't follow. After a few tense minutes, Ravi exhaled. We're clear, he said. Lena looked at him, her eyes wide with relief. You did it. He turned to her and smiled. Told you I'm good with machines. She laughed softly, the sound light in the cold air. As they left Astanain behind, Lena stared out the window at the stars. I owe you even more now. Ravi shook his head. Just promise me we don't crash into another ice canyon. She turned to him and said, Where will we go? He looked at the star map. I know a place. Old station in the asteroid belt. Quiet, hidden, and full of junk. Just my kind of spot. Lena nodded. Then lead the way. And so they flew into the dark, to strangers bound by fate, chased by shadows, but not afraid. Because now they were no longer alone. The old shuttle groaned as it flew through space. Metal panels rattled, lights flickered, and the navigation screen kept blinking red. Ravi kept both hands on the controls, guiding the ship with sharp focus. Lena sat beside him, watching quietly. Behind them, the snowy moon Astanain was growing smaller. They had escaped just in time. The enemy ship had stopped chasing, but Ravi didn't trust it. He kept checking the radar, just to be sure. Engines are holding, he said. Barely. But we're still flying. Lena looked at him. Where are we going? Ravi pointed at the screen. A small blinking dot appeared near an asteroid field. There's an old station out there, he said. I stayed there years ago during a mining job. It's abandoned, but still has working systems. At least, I hope it does. Lena nodded. Anywhere is better than going back. Ravi smiled. Good, because turning around is not an option. The shuttle continued flying through the silent darkness. Time passed slowly. Ravi checked the fuel levels. patch the leaking air pipe, and even argue with Click when the robot dropped a toolbox. Lena helped where she could. She was learning fast, and Ravi noticed her hands were steadier now. They reached the asteroid field. After several hours, rocks floated slowly in space, some as small as pebbles, others as big as ships. The station came into view along rusted structure built between two large rocks. Parts of it were broken, but the docking ring was still there. Looks worse than I remember, Ravi muttered. The shuttle wobbled as it approached. Ravi adjusted the angle, tapping the controls gently, with a slow hiss and a loud clank. The ship latched onto the docking port. "We're in," he said. He stood up and grabbed a flashlight. Lena followed him through the airlock. The inside of the station was dark and cold. Dust floated in the air, and the walls were covered with wires and broken panels. "This place feels forgotten," Lena said. "Good," Ravi replied. "Forgotten means safe." They walked down the main hallway until they reached the control room. Ravi activated the backup power, and lights flickered to life. The air system turned on with a low hum. "Milo," Ravi called out. "You still alive?" A small round camera turned toward them, and a soft voice echoed through the speakers. Ravi detected. "Welcome back." Ravi smiled. "Still working, huh?" "I never left," the voice replied. Lena looked around. "What is Milo?" Ravi pointed at the camera. "Old AI system. Used to run the station when miners lived here. Now he just talks to himself." "I do not talk to myself," Milo said. Lena tilted her head. "Can it help us?" "Yes," Ravi said. "Milo, we need full station lockdown. No signals in or out. Hide our location." "Understood," Milo replied. "Security systems activated." They set up their base in the old lounge. Ravi repaired the heating system and fixed a few lights. He even found canned food in one of the storage rooms. Lena explored the station, checking the different rooms and hallways. Some doors were stuck, and others opened into empty storage bays. Over the next few days, the station began to feel like home. Ravi worked on the shuttle, making repairs and upgrades. Lena trained in an empty chamber she turned into a practice room. She moved with grace and focus, using a metal staff as her weapon. One evening, Ravi watched her from the doorway. "You're good," he said. "I was trained since childhood." She replied, "But I haven't used these skills in a long time." Ravi nodded. "You might need them again." Lena lowered the staff. "You don't talk much about yourself." "Not much to say," he replied. "Just a repairman who got tired of noise." "You're more than that," she said. He looked at her. Maybe not." The lights flickered for a moment. Ravi looked up, then walked to the control panel. "Milo, is something wrong?" "Unknown signal detected," Milo replied. "Very weak. Possibly hidden." Ravi checked the screen. A small dot blinked at the edge of the asteroid field. "Someone's out there," he said. Lena stepped beside him. "Can they see us?" "No," he replied. "We're hidden." "But if they come closer?" He didn't finish the sentence. He knew what it meant. Lena looked at the signal. "We can't run. The shuttle isn't ready." Ravi nodded. "Then we stay quiet." The signal moved away after some time. Milo kept tracking it, but it didn't return. That night, Lena couldn't sleep. She sat near the viewing window, looking at the stars. Ravi walked in, holding two cups of warm tea. "Here," he said, handing her one. She took it with a small smile. "Thank you." They sat in silence for a while. "I miss my home," she said. "Not just the palace. The people, the sounds, the sky." Ravi nodded. "I miss Earth sometimes, but not everything about it." "What do you miss the most?" He thought for a moment. "Trees. The smell after rain. And quiet lakes." Lena closed her eyes. "We had lakes in Solon. They glowed at night." Ravi looked at her. "I hope you get to see them again." She turned to him. "You've already given me more than I expected." He smiled slightly. "I didn't expect anything either." The days passed quietly. Ravi completed the shuttle repairs. Lena grew stronger. Milo scanned for signals daily, and the enemy ship didn't return. For a while, it felt peaceful. Then, one day, Milo spoke with urgency. Multiple ships entering the asteroid field. IDs unknown. Approaching fast. Ravi rushed to the control room. Lena followed close behind. Can we hide? She asked. Not from that many, Ravi replied. Milo showed the radar screen. 4 ships. All coming from the same direction. They found us, Ravi said. Lena stood tall. Then we must leave. Ravi looked at the shuttle. It's ready, but it's not built for a chase. Lena placed a hand on his shoulder. You've done enough. Let me help now. Ravi nodded. They gathered supplies quickly and loaded them into the shuttle. Milo transferred part of his system into a small memory core. Take me with you, the AI said. I would rather move than be destroyed. Welcome aboard, Ravi said. As the enemy ships closed in. The shuttle detached from the station and flew into the field. Ravi guided it through the rocks with sharp movements. Lena sat beside him. Ready for anything, a voice crackled through the radio. Surrender the girl, and you may live. Ravi turned the radio off. Not a chance. The chase had begun, but this time, Ravi wasn't running alone. He had someone beside him who believed in him, someone strong, someone royal, and he had no plans of giving up. The small shuttle shook as it sped through the asteroid field. Ravi gripped the controls tightly, trying to keep the ship steady while weaving between the floating rocks behind them. The rebel ships were closing in fast. Lena sat beside him, watching the radar and calling out directions. To coming from the left, she said. One behind. Closed, I see them, Ravi replied, his eyes focused. The shuttle twisted sharply to avoid a large asteroid, the engine straining. A blast from one of the enemy ships flashed past them, just missing the wing. The whole shuttle trembled, but it held together. We can't keep this up, Ravi said. They're too fast. Lena looked ahead. There's a thick part of the field. Can you get us through it? Ravi smirked. I can try. He pushed the throttle, and the shuttle sped toward a cluster of dense rocks. It was risky, but it was their only chance. The larger enemy ships couldn't follow through such tight space. As they entered the maze of stones, the radar beeped wildly. Ravi dodged left, then right, slipping through gaps just wide enough for the ship. Sparks flew as the edge of one rock scraped the side. Lena held her breath, but she didn't panic. Almost through, Ravi said. A loud bang echoed from the back of the shuttle. An engine warning flashed on the screen. They hit something. Lena said. Ravi didn't answer. He kept flying, pushing the shuttle past the last few asteroids. Finally, the ship broke free into open space. The rebel ships had stopped chasing. They couldn't follow through that part of the field. Ravi sighed in relief. We made it. Lena looked back at the damaged engine, but not without a scratch. Click, check the engine. Ravi called out. The small robot beeped and rolled. To the back, Ravi set the ship on a quiet path toward deep space, away from any major systems. He leaned back in his seat, wiping sweat from his brow. Lena turned to him. That was brave. More like foolish, Ravi replied. But it worked. The next few hours were calm. They flew in silence, watching the stars pass by. Ravi fixed minor issues while Lena checked the supplies. Click returned with a report engine to had taken damage but could still run for a while. We'll need a place to rest and repair, Ravi said. There's a safe zone, Lena replied. An old trading station, forgotten by most, my family. Used it for secret meetings. It's not far. She entered the coordinates. Ravi looked at the map. All right, let's head there. They reached the hidden station a day later. It floated alone near a red star, silent and empty. Its lights were off, and no signals came from it. Ravi approached carefully and connected the shuttle to one of the docking ports. Inside, the station was dark and dusty. Ravi turned on the lights, one section at a time. The air was dry but breathable. Lena walked through the hallways slowly, touching the walls. I remember this place, she said. I came here with my brother once, long ago. Ravi looked at her. Do you think he's still alive? She nodded slowly. I have to believe that he is. They cleaned one of the rooms and made it a temporary base. Ravi worked on the shuttles engine while Lena searched the station for old supplies. In one storage room, she found training bots and energy cells. She smiled and brought them back. I want to keep training, she said. If I face Dorn again, I must be ready, Ravi. Agreed. Good idea. I'll help you set them up. They created a small training area. Every morning, Lena practiced with her staff and trained with the bots. She moved with speed and strength, improving every day. Ravi watched her sometimes. Amazed by her skill. She was not just a princess, she was a fighter. Meanwhile, Ravi upgraded the shuttle's shield and added a few tricks. He even built a cloaking system from spare parts. It didn't last long, but it worked for short moments. One evening, they sat together in the old cafeteria. Ravi had made soup using leftover rations. It didn't taste great, but it was warm. You never asked for anything in return, Lena said, even after everything. Ravi looked at her. You didn't ask for this mess either. I just did. What anyone should have done. She shook her head. Not everyone would have risked their life for a stranger. You did. Ravi smiled. Maybe I'm strange too. Lena laughed quietly. You are, but I'm glad. The next day, Milo's core beeped. Ravi placed it into the console. Message received, Milo said. Private channel. Source unknown. Ravi looked at Lena. Should we open it? She nodded. Yes. The screen flickered. A face appeared, young, with short black hair and tired eyes. He looked surprised, then emotional. Lena, the voice said. It's me. It's Tarin. Lena stepped forward. Brother, Tarin nodded. You're alive. I searched for so long. I thought we lost you. Lena's eyes filled with tears. I escaped. Ravi saved me. Tarin looked at Ravi. Then I owe you everything. Ravi raised a hand. No need for that. Tarin continued. We're hiding on a small moon. A few of us survived the fall of Solon. But we need help. Dorn is growing stronger. He plans to take the throne fully soon. Lena stood tall. Then we must stop him. Tarin nodded. I'll send you the location. But come carefully. Dorn has spies everywhere. The screen went dark. Lena turned to Ravi. My brother is alive. The fight is not over. Ravi nodded. Then we go to him. But we'll need a plan. Lena smiled. You always have a plan. Ravi walked to the shuttle. Let's prepare for the next move. Lena stood beside him. Together. And so, under the light of a distant red star, two unlikely friends began preparing for a war much larger than them. One a lost princess, the other a quiet mechanic from a lonely moon. But together, they had already done the impossible, and more was yet to come. The shuttle moved quietly through space, leaving behind the red star and the empty station. Ravi sat at the controls, checking the new coordinates Lena's brother had sent. Lena stood beside him, her eyes focused on the screen. Tarin said, They're hiding on a moon called Velin. Ravi said, It's cold, rocky, and doesn't show up on normal maps. That's why they chose it, Lena replied, hidden, quiet, and safe from Dorn's spies. Click beeped from the corner of the ship. Ravi glanced back. Engine is steady. Shields are charged. We're ready. Lena sat down across from him. I never thought I'd see my brother again. You still have a chance to fight back, Ravi said. And now you have allies. Lena smiled. Thanks to you, the trip took a day. The shuttle slipped through empty sectors, staying low to avoid scanners. When they neared Velin, the moon looked like a ball of gray stone wrapped in fog. Ravi guided the shuttle to a landing spot marked by a faint beacon dot as the ship touched down. A group of people stepped out from behind tall rocks. They were simple, armor and carried old weapons. One of them stepped forward. It was Tarin. He ran toward Lena, and they hugged tightly. For a moment, the hard world around them disappeared. I knew you were alive, Tarin said. I never stopped hoping you were. Too, Lena replied. Tarin turned to Ravi. So, this is the man who saved my sister. Ravi gave a short nod. Just did what I could. Tarin held out his hand. You've done more than most of us. Welcome. They led Ravi and Lena into a large cave hidden deep in the cliffs. Inside, there were old machines, sleeping pods, and maps on the walls. A small group of soldiers and engineers moved around, working in silence. "This is what's left of the Royal Guard," Tarin said, "and a few people who refused to join Dorn." Ravi looked around. "You've done a lot with so little." Tarin nodded. "But it's not enough. Dorn has full control of the central system. His fleet is growing. And now, he's building a weapon that can destroy entire cities from orbit." Lena stepped forward. "Then we must stop him before he uses it." Tarin looked at her. "We'll need a plan, and ships, and something he won't expect." Ravi stepped up. "I might have an idea." He pulled out a small pad and opened a map. "Dorn's fleet depends on fuel from a station called Zevernine. It's small, not well protected, but it powers almost everything Dorn uses. If we take it out, we can slow him down." Tarin raised an eyebrow. "How do you know this?" "I used to work near it," Ravi said. "I know the layout." Lena looked at her brother. "We can strike fast and out before he notices." Tarin studied the map. "We don't have many fighters, but if we time it right, it could work." They spent the night building the plan. Ravi helped the engineers upgrade their old drones and fighters. He taught them how to use signal jammers and fake transmissions. Lena worked with the guards, training them for fast movement and quiet strikes. In 2 days, they were ready. A small team, including Ravi, Lena, and Tarin, flew towards Zevernine. The station floated in space, its lights blinking slowly. Ravi guided the shuttle close, using a code he still remembered to avoid setting off alarms. "We go in quiet," he said. "Plant the charges, then get out." Lena nodded. "No mistakes." They docked silently and entered the station through a maintenance hatch. Inside, pipes hissed and machines hummed. Guards walked slowly, not expecting trouble. Ravi led them through back tunnels. He placed energy bombs near the fuel tanks. Tarin and Lena watched the hallways, ready for anything. Just as Ravi placed the last charge, an alarm rang. "They saw us," Tarin said. "Move," Ravi shouted. They ran through the station. Guards shouted and fired behind them. Lena blocked a blast with a small shield and helped Ravi through a side door. They reached the shuttle just in time. As they lifted off, Ravi pressed a button on his wrist. The charges exploded one by one. Zevernine lit up in a bright fireball. The shuttle flew fast and far. Behind them, Dorn's fuel line was burning. Back on Velen 3, the team celebrated. For the first time in months, there was hope. "You were right," Tarin told Ravi. He didn't see it coming. Ravi smiled. "He will now." Lena stood near the edge of the cave, looking up at the stars. Tarin walked over to her. "You've become strong." "I had to," she said. "And I had help." She turned and smiled at Ravi. Later that evening, the group gathered around a large table. Tarin spread out a map of Solon, their home planet. "Now that Dorn is off balance, we have a chance," he said. "But we need to move soon. He's preparing to claim the throne in front of the galaxy. If we stop that, we take back everything." Ravi looked at the map. "What's the plan?" "We fly in with a small fleet," Tarin said. "We land near the capital and shut down the broadcast system. Dorn's power depends on control. If we cut his message, his support will fall apart." Lena added, "And I'll face him. He must see that I still live." Ravi looked at her. "Are you sure you're ready?" She nodded. "I must be." Tarin turned to Ravi. "You've already done so much, but I must ask again. Will you fight with us?" Ravi thought for a moment. He had come a long way from his quiet life on Ostenine. He had faced danger, escaped death, and found a cause bigger than himself. He stood up. "I'm with you till the end." Tarin placed his hand on Ravi's shoulder. "Then we stand together." And so, under the cold sky of Velen 3, the final battle began to take shape. The rebels had a plan, a small fleet, and a fire in their hearts that Dorn could never understand, because they were not fighting for power. They were fighting for home. The final plan was ready. Solon, the royal homeworld, stood at the center of everything. Dorn had already announced his claim to the throne. He planned a grand speech, broadcasted across the galaxy, to show his rule and power. But Tarin, Lena, and Ravi had other plans, the rebels gathered in a hidden valley on Velen 3. Fighters were checked, weapons loaded, and maps studied one last time. It was a small army, but it was brave. Ravi stood beside Lena, going over the shuttles. Systems. He had fixed every wire and tightened every bolt. He wasn't going to let anything break this time. Lena put on her light armor. Silver, strong, and marked with her family's crest. "You ready?" Ravi asked. She nodded. "For Solon." "For my people." Taring walked over. "We move at first light. The broadcast center's guarded. But it's not a fortress. If we cut the signal before Dorn's speech, we shake his power. And the people will see he's afraid," Lena added. Ravi checked his tools again. "Let's make sure this works." At dawn, the rebel fleet left Velen 3. Their ships were older than Dorn's, but lighter and faster. They flew in silence, using narrow space paths to avoid patrols. As Solon appeared ahead, its beauty struck them all. Green lands, blue rivers, and glowing cities once full of peace were now covered in fear and silence. Ravi's ship led the second group. Lena and Taring flew in the command craft. The plan was simple. First group hits the broadcast tower. Second group holds off enemy ships. Third group stays back for rescue if needed. Milo's voice came through the comms. "Dorn's patrols have not seen us yet. Good timing. Let's keep it that way," Ravi replied. The first wave reached the skies of Solon. Fighters spread like birds, heading straight for the city center. Sirens started screaming from Dorn's towers. "They know," Taring said. "We're out of time." Ravi's shuttle dropped near the edge of the capital. He jumped out with 2 rebels, carrying signal jammers and power packs. The goal was to block Dorn's backup systems. Lena and Taring ran through the crowded streets, heading for the main tower. People saw them and gasped. Some whispered Lena's name. "She's alive." Someone said, "She's come back." Lena moved fast. She didn't stop. There was no time. Blasts shook the streets as Dorn's soldiers arrived. The rebels pushed back, using every skill they had learned. Ravi placed the jammers quickly, then joined the others in covering fire. "Left side," he shouted. "Hold that wall." Click beeped in warning. Ravi turned just in time to block a drone blast. The robot quickly rolled forward and dropped a small charge, clearing the path. Taring and Lena reached the tower gates. Guards blocked the entrance, but Lena stepped forward without fear. "You fight for a thief," she said loudly. "You protect a false king." The guards looked unsure. One of them lowered his weapon. "She is the real heir," he whispered. A moment of silence passed. Then the gate opened. Inside the tower, Dorn stood in a large hall, dressed in a black robe with a golden mark. Screens around him showed the galaxy, waiting for his speech. He smiled as he saw the camera light turn green. "Today," Dorn began, "I bring order and strength to Solon. The royal line is fallen. I now lead." His words echoed until the screen suddenly cut off. Static. Lena stepped into the hall, her voice clear. "The royal line still stands." Dorn turned, his smile fading. "You," he said. "Yes," Lena replied. "I've returned, and the people will see who you truly are." Dorn drew a sharp blade from his side. "Then let them watch you fall." Taring moved forward, but Lena held up her hand. "This is mine." They circled each other, quiet and focused. Then Dorn lunged. Lena blocked, spun, and struck back. Their blades clashed, sparks flying. Dorn was strong, but Lena was faster. Outside, Ravi held the line. Ships circled overhead. The rebels were still outnumbered, but the people of Solon were no longer silent. Many came into the streets, standing behind the rebels, cheering Linus. "Name, she is our queen," they said. Ravi smiled. "About time." Inside, the fight continued. Dorn struck hard, forcing Lena back, but she stayed calm. She waited for the right moment. Then, as Dorn raised his blade high, she stepped forward and disarmed him with a swift twist. His blade flew across the hall and clattered on the floor. "It's over," she said. Dorn fell to his knees. "You don't have the strength to rule." "No," she replied, "but I have the heart." And that's what you never understood. Tarin activated the central system. The screens lit up again, showing Lena standing tall in the hall. People across the galaxy saw her face. "I'm Lena of Solon," she said, "rightful heir. I survived not for revenge, but for hope. We were betrayed, but we will rebuild." Together, the crowd outside cheered. The rebel fleet signaled victory. Dorn was taken into custody by his own confused guards. Later, Ravi stood beside Lena on the balcony of the palace. The city below was lit with soft lights, and the people were singing. "You did it," he said. "No," Lena replied. "We did." Tarin stepped forward. "They want you to speak again." Lena looked at Ravi. "Come with me," he smiled. "I'm not made for thrones, but you're made for this journey," she said. They walked out together, side by side, as the people watched. Ravi never planned to become a hero. He never dreamed of saving worlds. But sometimes, the quiet ones do the loudest things. And when fate came knocking, he answered not for glory, not for power, but for someone who once said, "I owe you." And in the end, they owed each other everything. The sun rose slowly over Solon's capital, casting warm light on the tall buildings and wide streets. After the long fight, peace had returned. People walked freely, talking and laughing. The fear that had weighed on them was gone. Lena stood on the palace balcony, looking out at her home. The city sparkled like a jewel under the morning sun. She wore a simple dress, her silver hair loose in the breeze. Beside her, Ravi watched quietly. "It feels different now," Lena said softly. "Like a new chapter." Ravi nodded. "You earned it." She smiled at him. "You helped me get here." "I owe you more than words," Ravi shrugged. "I just did what was right." Lena looked at the people gathering below. Families, friends, and strangers had come to celebrate. Children played with bright ribbons, and musicians played soft songs in the streets. "Look at them," she said. "They believe in hope again." Ravi smiled. "Hope is the strongest thing anyone can have." Suddenly, a voice came over the palace speakers. It was Tarin. "Citizens of Solon," he said, "today we begin rebuilding our home. Together, we will heal the wounds left by war. Lena, our princess, will lead us forward." The crowd cheered. Lena stepped away from the balcony and turned to Ravi. "Will you stay?" she asked. Ravi looked surprised. "Me? Yes," she said. "You're more than a mechanic now. You're part of this world." He thought for a moment. His quiet life on Ostenine felt very far away. This place, these people. And Lena, they had changed him. "I'd like that," he said. They walked through the palace halls, now filled with light and soft music. Advisors and citizens came to greet Lena, offering their thanks and pledges of loyalty. One woman approached Ravi. "You saved my brother," she said. "Thank you," Ravi smiled. "I only did my part." Lena introduced Ravi to the royal council. They looked at him with respect. He was not a noble, but his courage and skill had earned their trust. Days passed quickly. Lena worked hard to rebuild the government. She met with leaders, repaired alliances, and helped the people find their voices again. Ravi helped organize the repairs in the city. He led teams to fix broken machines, restore power, and clean the streets. Click became a favorite of the children, who followed the small robot everywhere. One afternoon, Lena invited Ravi to walk in the palace gardens. Flowers bloomed in colors Ravi had never seen before. The air smelled fresh and alive. "Do you remember when you first found me?" Lena asked. Ravi laughed. "How could I forget? You were burned, scared, and very quiet. I was lost." Lena said, "But you gave me hope, and you gave me a reason to fight," Ravi replied. They sat by a small fountain, listening to the soft sound of water. The future was uncertain, but it felt bright. Weeks turned into months. Solon healed, stronger than before. Lena's leadership brought peace and new ideas. People worked together, sharing their skills and dreams. Ravi became a symbol of hope, showing that anyone could make a difference. He was no longer just a mechanic. He was a hero. One evening, Lena and Ravi stood outside the palace, watching the stars. The sky was clear, and the stars shone like tiny fires. "What will you do now?" Lena asked. Ravi looked up. "I think I'll stay, help rebuild, maybe even explore new worlds someday." Lena smiled. "I'll be ready for those adventures. With you." They stood together in silence, two friends bound by fate and courage, in a galaxy filled with danger and darkness. Their story was a lighter reminder that kindness, bravery, and friendship could change everything. And so, the princess who once needed saving, and the mechanic who never wanted more, found a new home and a new family among the stars. The end was only the beginning.